Morning stain, folks. Mornay bloody stain. That's the difference. As a kick from Mornay stain. It's the British and Irish Lions tour of South Africa. It's a Springbok win with about a minute to go. 19 points to 16. The Springboks get the job done in what was a pretty bloody close fought match. Both sides had their times in front for a while. It looked like it might have been going down to a draw again, but we have a series winner, and it is the Springboks for 2021. We will go through some of the key events of the game, some of the stats, and you guys can let me know your thoughts on how the game went. If you have seen it, I'm sure highlights will be online pretty quickly, if not already. The game started off maybe a wee bit messy for both sides, you'd have to say. Bigger missed a penalty, which in the scheme of things, pretty bloody costly. South Africa's line-out was not straight. The South Africans had a good chance to attack down the Lions' end, but they ended up knocking it on. So, a wee bit messy, tentative early, which is, I guess, kind of to be expected. Remember, both sides had to make a few changes. Reinach was in, and actually Russell had to come on pretty early for this one. Bigger went off injured within about 10 minutes, and to be honest, I think a lot of us were actually pretty pumped to see Finn Russell on, man. I know Gats couldn't bring himself to play Finn Russell from the get-go, and he hadn't played for quite some time, been out injured. But man, seeing Russell come on was a proper good moment for the game. That being said, the first penalty did go South Africa's way, so it was 3 points to 0. Visa conceded a penalty, and he conceded a few. I know that number 8 question's a bit of an unanswered one for South Africa with Vermeulen out injured. They tried Quacker Smith and they've tried Visa. Visa, conceded a few penalties in this game. Flirted with the kind of, the boundaries of the law. He got punished for one early. Mostert had blood all down his face. He got a cut to his face early. Proper warrior, that man. But the first penalty for the Lions finally went over on about, what was it, 16 minutes? Yeah, 16 minutes. Finn Russell, who had a good night with the boot, to be fair, he kicked one to make it 3 points apiece. And interestingly, that one was a scrum penalty that led to that one. So, the scrum is going to become a deciding factor, but that man Trevian Nyakane seems to be one of the difference makers, I think it would be fair to say. But anyway, that one went to the Lions to make it 3 points apiece. The first try of the game, likewise, went to the British and Irish Lions. The only way they've been able to crack that South African defence is through the maul, and this case was no different. Ken Owens, 19 minutes. And it was interesting, I was wondering if they maybe weren't backing Russell's boot, but they were going for touch with the Lions pretty early on. 18 minutes, they get a penalty, they opt for a line-out, and they maul it. Sure enough, Bundyaki gets in there, backs get in there, and they're able to shove their way over. Good conversion from Finn Russell, so it's 10 points to 3. A big moment in that game, man. They've gone in front. Maybe to pay off for some of the kind of possession and territory they've had. 21 minutes, South Africa conceded a soft penalty. It's not what you need to be doing. I think it was like Mostert for kind of running a blocking line. To be fair, they did kind of... at times, the South Africans were under the pump and they managed to kind of stop the momentum. Like they conceded a soft penalty, but then from the line-out maul that the Lions set, the Boks are able to kind of win a turnover. So, kind of at least able to kind of stop the Lions from getting a heap of momentum kind of unanswered. The ref told the medics to get off the pitch. Not long later, that would have been around about the 20-odd minute mark, Warren Gatland in his press conferences said that the game was way too slow last week, and that must have had a little bit of influence because the medics were told to go away. And to be fair, if it's not a showstopper, the players probably shouldn't be going down. I'm always a fan of a quick game as well. But interesting moment that the ref wasn't really taking any nonsense from anybody. Likewise, Sia Kolisi wasn't taking any nonsense from anybody either. I think it was Alan Jones got penalised at one point for kind of not rolling away. And he had a wee chat with the ref. And Sia came in. And Sia is not usually that kind of aggressive style captain. He came in and you could see him like giving Alan Jones some stick. It's maybe what he got a little bit of criticised for in game one, was being a bit too passive. There was nothing passive about Sia Kolisi in this game. So yeah, penalty to the Springboks. That being said, the Boks conceded their own breakdown penalty on 28 minutes. The Lions again went for touch. They decided to double down with that maul effort from about 6 metres out, but Curry's another man, kind of like Visa for the Boks, who gave away a few too silly penalties. Curry gives away a few too many in this game. It's at least 2. And he's just in front of the ball carrier at the maul. And it's Kolisi that he's trying to get out of the way as well. So it's a poor one to concede for the Lions when their maul had been looking good. 32 minutes, Itoje managed to get a line break, but Dealende was there over the breakdown to win a turnover. So yeah, both sides kind of able to stifle each other, but especially the Boks, who did lack a bit of ball in that first half especially. When they were under the pump, they were able to kind of find that key play to shut things down. Scrums turned around on 34 minutes. The Boks managed to win a scrum penalty in the Lions half. Big penalty for Pollard to kick, and he does so. It's 10 points to 6, getting them back within touching distance. But then the Boks conceded a penalty from the restart. So I'm talking about no real momentum shift fully one way or the other. The British and Irish Lions went for touch. And that time I think Curry was the man who did win a penalty. It wasn't all bad news. He won a penalty when Dealende had the ball. So yeah, good penalty from Curry to win. But then the Lions lost their own line out. Then the Boks knocked it on. It was not really able to get any continuity. The Lions had a 6 metre scrum. Eventually, Kolisi wins a turnover. And that one was the Lions' kind of proper period of pressure. And if you're a Lions fan looking back at this result, shaking your head, there's a few times when, man, they had try-scoring opportunities. They couldn't convert. At that moment, they were really knocking on the door of the Springboks. And as I mentioned, the only way the Lions have been able to crack them is at maul time. For this one, Price, I think, grabs the ball at the back of the ruck. He starts to go right. He sees bodies on the ground from the previous ruck, and he changes his mind to go left. And it's that little bit of hesitation. And Kolisi is the man who wins the turnover, man. Like, as soon as you show that hesitation, you're pretty much done against the Springboks defence. But, yeah, that is what it is. Wyn Jones is honestly looking a bit sore. Doesn't help that Visa kind of cleans him out. Legit, the TMO has a look at it. The ref asked him to have a look, but TMO says nothing doing there. But Wyn Jones is looking pretty beaten up right before halftime. They do go into the sheds with that 10-6 scoreline. Again, it's the third test in a row where the side that's destined to lose this game goes in ahead at the break. The Lions have had more possession, 69%, more territory, 74%, fewer knock-ons, more run meters, penalty counters, 7 apiece, and the Springboks have had to make a heap of tackles, 83-24 in that first half. So for the Lions to only be 6 or 10-6 in front is maybe not ideal. They probably should have been up by more if they'd converted their chances. Springboks win a scrum penalty at the start of the second half. Mako Vunipolo has to come on, man. Wyn Jones is looking real beaten up, as I mentioned, and first scrum, he's not holding up, so he goes off. Mako comes on. I guess they wanted to save him a bit for later, but they couldn't get it done. Curry concedes another penalty on 46, but Pollard misses the shot at goal. And I'm starting to worry a little bit because he misses another one a few minutes later, does Pollard. First one hits the post. Second one goes under. So he misses 2 kicks within, 10 minutes. And given the scoreline the way it was a little bit worrying for the Springboks. Finn Russell did have a high tackle on Colby, which got looked at by the TMO, but they decided there was enough of a slip that it was only a penalty. To be honest, I've seen those kind of tackles yellow carded a lot. Like it starts at red with the shot to the head, and then they mitigate it down for the slip. And Colby is short and was slipping. So I was like, there's definitely mitigation. Maybe he'll see yellow. Doesn't see yellow. It's penalty only. And then Pollard misses it. So that was kind of reminiscent of game 1, right? Hamish Watson, tip tackle, penalty only. Pollard misses a penalty. So again, it's kind of like that thing in the back of your head is a wee bit nagging. But what's not nagging is bloody Cheslin Colby, mate. Finally, that guy gets on the board on 56 minutes. I swear this guy has been limited by the pitch kind of tearing up. The pitch wasn't as bad this week, but it's still not international standard, I reckon. They need to relay that thing if they're going to play rugby there. But Colby, who's tended to slip over a wee bit, he's not the only one this tournament, but he finally manages to get a run, man. It's a box kick from the Lions. It's a messy ball. Manages to get it to, I think it's LaRue, and then LaRue gets it to Colby. And he beats at least 2 tackles. I think Liam Williams and somebody else. Oh man, Colby is such a hard man to bring down, and so he proves. Like, if there was anybody going to score a try for the Springboks, it's kind of fitting that it was Cheslin Colby. The TMO did take a long look at it. Marius Jonker took ages to look at it to check if there was a knock on. He seemed to be wanting to have another look and another look and another look. And the ref kept looking at like, no conclusive evidence. And again, no conclusive evidence. I think it was Visa again they were looking for to see if he knocked it on. But again, there's no conclusive evidence to just move on. Took too long, but they come to the conclusion that the try will stand. And the Boks are back in front, 13 points to 10. Good conversion. So, Price gets immediately subbed after knocking it on not long after that try. So Connor Murray comes on. But yeah, man, it's a bit of a momentum shifter. Colby is kind of good value for that kind of thing, isn't he? The Lions get another scrum penalty, and kind of like Price has just got subbed for doing a knock on. It seems like the Springbok front row gets bolstered when Inyakane comes on, and I don't think the Springboks concede another scrum penalty after that one, man. That guy, he's having a hell of a couple of games, isn't he? Trevor Inyakane, you got to love that guy. He's such a character and just such a scrummager. 62 minutes, Visa concedes another penalty, and Finn Russell slots a 44-metre penalty. No doubt about his kicking in this game, apparently. 13 points apiece. You're starting to worry maybe a draw's on the cards. 65 minutes. Stain, who's not long come on, immediately has a penalty shot at goal, and he nails it as well. 16-13, Springboks back in front. 68 minutes, the Lions win not a scrum penalty. They win another penalty, and interestingly, it's a very kickable one. They decide to go for the jugular. It's a big call from the Lions, man. They go for the win. They go for touch. And they maul at the maul. It's good work from the Boks, man, because the Boks compete with 2 jumpers to try and steal the ball and not have the maul set. But they missed the ball. The Lions win it. But then the guys who are on the ground from the Springboks sack the maul immediately. So it's top stuff. Usually it's kind of like, do you stay down and try to sack the maul, or do you jump up and try and win it in the air? But the Springboks do both. They try to win it in the air, and when they fail to do so, they immediately sack them all, which is a big move. They're still not out of jail, though. The Lions are, again, hammering on the door. Mako Vunipola goes over the line, but the ref is there and says it's immediately held up. And from the scrum, Lions have still got the ball, man, attacking scrum. They reset it a couple of times, but when they finally get there, it's a Springboks penalty, so they're kind of able to get out of jail. It's a big moment. Still not out of jail yet, man. The game's still not won. Henshaw has a big line break on 73 minutes. The Boks concede another penalty. This time, change of tack from the Lions. They opt for the 3, and it's 16 apiece with like 5 minutes left. But man, Mornay bloody Stain. He did it 12 years ago, and he does it here. It's not as hard a kick as it was 12 years ago. It's like 35 meters. Pretty much straight up in front. It is absolutely that guy's bread and butter. He nails it. 19 points to 16. There's enough time to restart, and they do so. The Lions win the restart. It's a short kickoff. They manage to get the ball. Eventually, though, the Lions have to scrum because Khaleesi almost gets a turnover, doesn't concede a penalty. The ref says they're going to have a scrum. From that last scrum, the Boks win a penalty, and that's game, man. You can see the celebration erupts immediately from those guys. Obviously, devastation for the Lions guys. They couldn't quite get it done, but man, I hope Lions fans aren't too disappointed, but obviously it's pretty brutal. But man, what a test. What a test. There was nothing boring about that one. I know people have been given the series stick. The series has always had intensity, and so it proves in this one. Run meters finished 186 to 234. The Lions have more. The Lions have more possession, 63, more territory, 63. But it was a lot closer in the second half. Scrums, man. Scrums lost. 1 by the Boks, 3 by the Lions. Pretty costly. Rugby championship teams, beware of that Springbok scrum. Interestingly, you look at the kicks from hand, 28 apiece. So lower than what we've seen in previous games. But 50 passes from the Boks, 111 from the Lions. So that kicking game is still evident in what limited ball they had from the Boks. Knock-ons, 8 by the Lions. Costly. The side that has knocked on more has lost every game in this series. And again, it proves to be the case. 4 by the Boks, 8 by the Lions. Yeah, handling is key. Penalties conceded 15 to 12. Lions having more. And again, it's partly that scrum, which is a wee bit costly. Colby has 43 run meters, 3 defenders beaten. Daylender has 12 from 14 tackles, so some big shifts from some big names in that Springboks team. Diaka, he goes off after like 50-odd minutes. He makes 16 from 17 tackles. He's the top tackler. Crocker Smith comes on, makes 15 from 15. He's going to be kind of an unsung hero, I think. Wasn't on for that long, but made a heap of tackles. Henshaw has 5 defenders beaten, 23 run meters. Itoje has 9 from 10 tackles. Quite the series, folks. Mornay Steyn with the winning kick. It's a bit of a fairy tale story from him to do it 12 years after he did it in 2009. But anyway, man, like I said, I'm pretty pumped after that one. If you're going to get up at 4 in the morning or 3:45 to watch these teams play, you want a proper match. It swung both ways. Both sides had their chances. Pollard missed a few kicks on another day that could have been costly. The Lions were held up over the line. They were kind of turned over 5 meters out. They had their chances. Couldn't quite get it done. Hell of a series. We will wait 4 more years until we see the British and Irish Lions guys get another crack. And 12 more years before they play the Springboks again. But anyway, 17 minutes, I better go. You guys let me know your thoughts. I'm pretty happy with it. Like I said, it's a good series. The Lions won that first game. The Springboks bounced back, and the decider is a 3-pointer. Cracking stuff for mine. You guys let me know your thoughts. Do drop the video a like if you got this far through it. I would appreciate it. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.